Hello ladies and gentlemen, let me show you how you can win over and over in life. It doesn't matter what you do. I've done this multiple times in many areas. I've become a seven-figure entrepreneur in trading. I've built Europe's and many other continents and countries' largest trading community over the past 10 years. Trading also for the past 10 years. I fast-tracked my success in boxing, a new hobby that I started beginning of the year, and had my first amateur fight just a couple of weeks ago. With a win, obviously. And at the same time, I create content and I travel half of what the stewardess travels alongside building this business, obviously. So I do a lot, and I game, and I'm pretty good in gaming. That's another thing. I stopped gaming back in the times and said I'm gonna start only again if I make my first million, which happened 2023, which I'm very grateful for. But I've always used the same system in everything. I've learned it for the first time in business, then I've used it in trading, I've used it in boxing, I've used it in content creation, I've used it basically everywhere where content creation is just more like a hobby. But I want to show you guys here on my whiteboard how to create success over and over. So for me, again, it was network marketing, building a community, it was in trading, it was in boxing, it's in my relationship, it's in everything that I do, and it's always the same system, right? And the very first step that we need to think of when creating success in life, in business, in whatever you want to focus on, if you follow these steps, they are very easy, they will result in success. Number one will always be, what is your goal? Like, what is it that you want to go? What is your goal, right? Many people start something, and that's completely okay. If you start something without having a goal, let's say it's a hobby or whatever. Boxing was just a hobby, right? I didn't say I want to have my first amateur fight and progress so fast and learn so fast. But you need like a goal if you really want to make it big, right? If you just want to do it besides, that's okay. But maybe you still want to be great. This video is still for you. But in general, what is your goal? Where do you want to go? For example, you want to learn boxing, right? And I will make a lot of examples of boxing because there's just one on top of my memory, the most recent one, where I saw that I always do the same and I always follow the same system, okay? So talking about that, let's go into the basic steps of the system, which I call the success system, right? But we can just call it the system in general, okay? But the success system is always the same thing. The very first thing you want to do is you want to get the greatest mentor that you can get, right? I want you to get the greatest mentor in, especially something you want to be very big in. And that's very difficult, right? Because just because you started something, you might not have the access, the money, the connection to get the best mentor, right? But the best mentor, and that's if you cannot get the best mentor, is the best information that you can get, right? With information, because either your mentor is anyways going to pass you this, or you just get it somewhere else. And information can be, so this one can be mentors, okay, plus an S, and information, and if this word would exist, informations, okay, informations in the sense of multiple ones, okay. What I'm referring to is that a mentor can be from either, for example, YouTube. I use a lot of YouTube. It's my most favorite and visited platform for personal development or for any topic. Let's say you want to become successful in trading, right? Then you will try to find the best mentor that is successful in trading, that is actually profitable in trading. And that's very important that you're very careful in choosing your mentors or your information. We already have it here. It's very important that you are very thoughtful of who do you listen to, because there's a lot of people that say they are something, boxers, traders, entrepreneurs, relationship coaches, right? And then they have shit relationships. But you want to follow someone that has real results, someone that is number one, right? Let's say, for example, you're picking gaming. Let's say you're picking, I don't know, Fortnite. There was a period alongside C19, I was playing a lot of Fortnite. And I just started to play it a little bit. It was pretty random because I bought a new TV, because I didn't even have a TV back in the time. It came with the PlayStation 4 in a Fortnite package. So obviously I started to check it out. And then the shutdown came completely, and there was nothing left to do, right? So I started to play Fortnite, and I was getting good, and I'm like, I like this game, I like the mechanics, it triggers me, I love systematic plays, so let me actually become good at this, right? So I started to find mentors. Now, since there's no kid in my life, like someone that I can, you know, they can mentor me, or someone that can come over and play with me and set everything up. I started to research information on YouTube, and I started to follow and watch the videos of all the successful #1 ranked Fortnite players. So YouTube is an insanely great platform, information in general, or if you have coachings, right? But with coachings, most of the times, not always, because to a certain extent, I'm also a coach, especially in trading and in network marketing. But coaches can be very good. People that you pay. A mentor is someone, I'm not saying he's gonna do it for free, but a mentor is someone that, you know, comes into your life, like in these old movies where someone wants to learn karate and then the mentor appears, or maybe the mentor is even in your family, whatever, right? But you want to get coachings or coaches. So that's the very first step, right? So let's sum this up quickly. You want to get a mentor, find a mentor, information, very filtering on who do you follow. It's very important that you filter who you follow. YouTube is very easy. You can find everything most of the times. And if not, for example, for trading, I would rather do a mentor, a coaching, or there's specific things that free information is just not going to do it. It's just not going to cut the edge, right? So for some things you need to pay. And most of the times if you pay, then you're going to get better information, right? And that's step number 2. Put all into it, okay? Put all into it, right? Is depending on your capability and depending on how much time you have, okay? Let's take boxing again here. For boxing, what I did is I started because in the beginning there was a hobby phase. And that's okay, right? For some it's just a hobby. But for me in the beginning it was a hobby phase where once a week, right? Once a week I trained, okay? But I already did step number 1. I got the best coach I could find in Dubai, okay? So once a week, and then in August, I went to a boxing camp, okay? So that's very important. Go meet your mentors, be with other people, okay? We'll speak about that later. I went to a boxing event, and then since August until now, December, okay, I started to box basically every day, once a day. Right? Besides, let me clean this up here. Okay. Basically once a day. So in my busy schedule, I started to make time. You can always make time. Like I literally travel all the time. I fly half of what a stewardess flies. I create content. I have an insanely big team and many people to mentor and lead. I have a full schedule. I have a working perfect relationship. I still spend time outside, I still meet friends, I still do all of these things, and I still managed to put this very efficiently into my time schedule. So if you say you have no time, it's complete bullshit. You have insane time. For me, it's for example, when I'm forced to one day not follow my schedule, I can really feel the minutes ticking because of how much time there is, right? I just had that a couple of days ago when I was in London last day before I flew home. There was just nothing to do. I was on my computer, I was trading, I was learning. I always default into learning mode once there's nothing to do. But it's like crazy how much time there is, right? So you want to put all into it, right? That's one example of putting all into it. But on the other side, I also mean something which some people will not agree, but I think it's the most important with putting all. So put all into it, okay? So P-A-I-I, put everything or put all into it. I also mean all of your resources. I cannot tell you how much I pay for my boxing coach, but it's insanely expensive because he's the best. He's the best I could get. He's expensive. He does the best for the amount of money. Everything I have is the best of the best. I have the best computer setup, $15,000. I mean, there's obviously betters, but like for what I do, it's more than enough. I always have the pro version of the phone. I have everything that I need. I try to have the best. Everything that I consume needs to be the best that I can, with my resources, afford. And if I cannot, I need to stretch so I can afford, right? I always try to drive the best cars, the best clothes, the best whatever. And best is not always just brand and price. It is quality, right? Quality is so important. People should focus more on quality than name and brand, which most of the times it comes together, right? But with resources, I mean putting all of your money plus all of your time into affording the best information and mentorship, guidance, whatever you want to call it. Because the more you put in and the more quality of information and mentorship you receive, the faster you will become successful. That's it. There's so many times where people will learn something wrong, like trading in the first 3 years. I learned it, but I learned it very inefficient and very wrong because there was just not enough mentorship at that time. And I was maybe not following the best mentors. But once I got the best mentor, for me, Stefan Kassing, for example, right? Everything changed. I tell you the same example again with health, right? Health and performance. So I have a health and performance coach that I met 7 years ago when I started my business. He was just starting off as a health and performance coach. It costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of money. But even back in the time when I didn't have a lot of money, I understood my most precious thing that I have is my health and my performance, especially if I want to accomplish more. So I put a lot of money in health and performance, right? I probably spent about 400 euros every month on supplements and nutrition supplementation. I spent every 3 months 3, 4, 500, sometimes 1,500 or more, depending on what and like of EV drips and blood tests, right? Extensive blood tests where they test everything, right? So health and performance, same thing I did here, right? Try to get the best and then try to get the best mentor for the best information. And ChatGPT is very good, but it's not just gonna cut the edge. If I run my blood tests through ChatGPT, it's very smart, but the interconnection of everything and experience comes from my coach. So he sees things that ChatGPT no one else sees, which he knows by just being a human and being with humans and helping human and fixing the issue, right? So another example, right? But put all of it's like resource everything you have to put everything into it and all of your time, right? Now step number 3 is hardcore action. Okay, hardcore action is very easily said, but with hardcore action I mean don't judge, always learn, always be humble, ask everyone for feedback, right? So action has a couple of steps. To actually do it, so whatever you want to do, you need to do it. You cannot become great by reading books all the time, right? If you want to learn trading, you need to be on the charts and trade. If you want to, whatever you want to do, you actually need to do it. You can't just, read books and be in theory about all of the time. That's how I was in the beginning. I was always like dreaming, oh, I can do this. And then I was just reading about it and looking at other people, but I never did it myself. I can assure you, if I can do it, you can do it. By that, I also mean that sometimes you have goals or targets where you're like, can I become a boxer? Can I become a trader? Can I become a big leader of an organization? Can I become an inspiring person? Can I be healthy? Can I be fit? Can I be lean? Can I be whatever it is? Yes, you can. 100%. You might not become #1 champion, the greatest, but you will become insanely good if you put in the action, right? Talent is beaten by hard work, and that is very, very true. Sometimes you can even look for something in what are you talented in. Okay, you can ask yourself, where do I have talent? Like I truly believe my talent is in learning fast, right? I have created this. I was really bad in learning. I was always learning very hard, but very average in school. But I now think I cut the edge in learning because I just teach so many people and I understand how they learn. So learning is something I'm very good in. I'm good in emotional intelligence. I'm good in adaptation. I can adapt very fast into environments, in whatever is asked from me, right? So these things help me a lot to learn things quicker and faster and just get it and not have an ego and be humble, right? But this is like a talent that I'm using and you have talents, so maybe you need to use your talents too, okay? Whatever it is, it plays into it. But if you don't have talent in it, also doesn't matter. You can still become extremely good. Maybe not #1 in the world, but you can still become certainly good. Same with boxing, right? I might not become the world champion, right? Just because I started very late. I just started a year ago, I'm 29 now. And many other factors why I cannot become it, right? But I can become pretty good and that's enough if I want to, right? Just as an example. So do it, talent, and then feedback. We go feedback extra in the next step, but I just want to bring it up here because feedback has its own part. Feedback means you need to actively ask people. Many people shy away from giving feedback, even your mentors. So you need to actively ask them and annoy them. How did I do it? Should I do it better? Is that okay? And you need to adapt. So feedback and very fast adaptation. Right? Feedback and very fast adaptation is going to make you insanely successful. By feedback, and we're gonna switch into that right now because again, I can tell you that I can open an own tab only for that. But what action is, you just need to do it relentlessly. It doesn't matter if you're tired or not, you just do it. And you need to keep the consistency. So action and consistency, right? Was it with an E or an A? Whatever, you understand. Consistency. Consistency is important because with repetition, it's gonna make your reputation, right? Repetition equals your reputation. The more you repeat it, the more you're gonna become successful. And the most important thing is not how many hours. Many things you don't need to do 10 hours a day, right? So for example, boxing again, you don't need to be boxing 10 hours a day. You need to efficiently 1 hour a day, 6 days a week for 6-7 weeks is gonna prepare you for a fight. If you are taking feedback and you're humble, you don't have an ego, I learn from everyone. Every time I did sparring, I went up to the person and I said, hey, is there something I can do better? Or the person came to me, right? If you're in a good environment, they're gonna give you feedback anyways. I always went to my coach and always go to my coach, and I'm gonna train on Saturday with my coach again on a PT. And afterwards, I already told him, I want to watch the fight with you and you tell me what I did wrong and we need to implement that, right? So always feedback loop. Your talent, you can ask yourself, it will help, and you just need to do it. You just need to consistently do it. And some things takes for years. Trading, for example, you need to do it for years, even though you're not seeing any results. Building a business, you're doing it for years, you're not seeing any results. But you just have to keep doing it. And I would say in general, who does it more and more efficient and in a better way will win. Step number 4 is record, okay? Record and reflect. Okay, record and reflect. Insanely important. Nowadays with cameras, you can record everything. I'm recording this with the camera. Always put a camera next to you. Every boxing session I did since I started to take boxing serious, I recorded it. I have over 800 gigabytes of videos of me boxing. And every time I would box, the first thing I would do is take a shower, come home, right? Rehydrate, drink something, and sit down with a coffee or water and watch at my boxing, what I just did. And I would either send it to my coach many times and he would look over it, obviously, especially when we didn't train together, or I would look at that extensively, sometimes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, right? And I would see myself doing it and I would see the mistakes. And there's many mistakes I probably didn't see, but it is so important for yourself to see yourself doing it if you want to become good. If you trade, record the process of trading and start to speak out loud. I'm seeing this opportunity in the market. That's why I'm entering the market. This is my feeling right now. This is my emotion, because then you can watch it back after the trade and see where there was a problem. Especially if you want to learn speaking or you speak to customers and you want to become a better salesperson, right? You need to record yourself selling, so afterwards you see where did your tone go up or down, where did you feel yourself, or even ask for feedback, send it to other people and ask for feedback, right? But recording and reflecting is the most important thing, right, in the whole process. That's really the sauce here. And what I'm trying to say is that record yourself on everything you do, right? And even if you game, same thing, right? I would record myself and then watch the games later. If it's arena games, if it's player versus player, if it's ranked games, I would record them and I would watch them later and then see the mistakes, because while you're doing it, you don't see it. Everything happens too fast. If you're gaming, if you're boxing, everything that is like high frequent, crazy stuff, right? Which I love. You need to record yourself and watch it later, right? You will learn so much. And the same thing you do in gaming. In gaming, what you do all the time, or in trading, is you watch other people game or trade the best ones and you try to copy them, you try to understand them, okay? Is record and reflect, okay? Now, the last step, and I'm gonna keep it easy for this one, there's much more I can speak about, but I wanna keep it up as a simple system for you that you can use and you can have a 5-step game plan. I love 5 steps. Is at the end of the day, your mindset to it, right? Mindset plays a big role. We already spoke about it a little bit, but one of the biggest things people do is they limit themselves, okay? Don't limit yourself, never, okay? Don't limit yourself. Don't ban limiting thoughts. To be honest, leading to my fight, to my first amateur fight, I really never had this second where I doubted myself, where I saw myself losing. Every time I played the scenario in my head where I was winning. Yes, I was afraid. I was even scared when they announced it or when my coach told me I'm gonna fight. Completely normal, you go through all of these emotions. But I don't let my mind slip into negativity. I don't limit myself, never in anything. I don't tell myself, oh, this is cool, I wanna learn it, but maybe I cannot do it. No, I stopped doing this completely. I had very limiting beliefs when I started. That's why my first career, and my current career, my network marketing career and my trading career, my first businesses, my first things that I have to build And that's where I learned this, and it took a very long time, but since I know the steps, it's always the same, right? It's always the same. Don't limit yourself. Eliminate negative thoughts, right? Negative, you need to eliminate that and take it away, right? Don't let your mind go there. Always think positive about yourself. I am the greatest boxer. I can do this, right? I can become the better gamer. I can become a good partner. I can become a millionaire. I can become a multimillionaire if you want to, or whatever it is. I can become whatever, right? So don't limit yourself. Exclude negativity. Should not every time it comes, it should not be in your mind. And focus on the positive. I have progressed. I have done this, right? It's better to look back and look at the things, like when you're reflecting, yes, be hard to yourself, but don't take it to your core. Be more like, okay, this I did shit, or today was a bad sparring session today, or this week was a bad trading week, or I really sucked at gaming today, but I have learned. And you need to take the positivity from who were you yesterday. And if you follow the system, every day you're gonna grow. And there's something you're gonna be, positive about. You're gonna look at and you're gonna say like, wow, I became so much better. Like in boxing, for example, I saw how I got better week from week. Week to week, when I would rewatch stuff, I'm like, bro, I do this better, right? I'm better at this now. I feel it, right? So I had always positivity, even though there were hard times and scary times and times where I got completely beaten up, right? I kept a positive attitude. I watched at the videos. I didn't have ego. I asked the person, what can I learn? Some of the best advice for my amateur fight I got from my sparring partner that completely pieced me up 1 week, and then 1 week later we did sparring again and it was pretty even, right? So you can progress so fast if you stay consistent, and we go back to step number 1, right? But let's go in general back and review everything we just have been speaking about today, so this makes sense to you, okay? And maybe I'm gonna add some extra points that I've overseen. But if we go back to step number 1, and that is really the most important one. If this fundament is crooked, it's going to be very difficult for you to become successful, which is find the right mentor, the right information, and only study, like become obsessed in the success system. In the success system, right? Become obsessed in finding the right information, the right books, the right people that did it, and judge the people purely by their result. Not so much by their character, right? Some people would say, oh, I don't like this guy because he's so harsh, but he's the best. So you need to look at what he does, right? Like I still do this every day. I find a person X that is good in something I want to be good in, and I study. I take everything out of them. I watch at their Instagram, all of their podcasts, everything. I'll give you an example. There was a time a couple of years ago where I really fell in love with Karim Benzema. I hate football. I don't hate it, but I don't watch it. I don't care about football. And I saw him while I was smoking shisha in a shisha bar, and everyone's like, Karim Benzema, okay, well, a couple of years ago. So I went to the social media, and I'm like, okay, who is this guy, right? And I started to see his insanely crazy lifestyle videos, right, for content creation. I'm like, this is sick. I want my lifestyle videos to be that. So I watched every lifestyle video he has 100,000 times. I showed it my content team. I said, exactly that's how I want it. This is the inspiration, blah, 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 all of these kind of things, right? I even at the time, and it was funny because I was looking at Karim Benzema so much that people started to call me Karim Benzema of network marketing, right? Just because my beard looked exactly the same as his, because I loved his beard, so I copied his beard. I didn't even want to do it. It started because everything, what you concern yourself with, what you focus on is what you become physically, mentally. And if you focus on negativity, on a negative person or a negative mentor, then you're gonna become negative physically or mentally. It's just gonna happen. That's how the world works, right? So that's why it's so important to, for example, here with this Karim Benzema example, right, to follow the right people. Now the people call me Top M from Top G. Even on my shorts for boxing, I had a boxing shorts that my sister gifted me 3 or 4 years ago. I had nothing to do with boxing 3 or 4 years ago. She gifted me these black shorts where it says Top M on it. Why? Because Top G, like Andrew Tate, is one of the guys that mostly pushed me when he said, you need to at least have one fight as a man in your life. That's the fundament why I started boxing, right? But I didn't thought it's gonna be so fast, okay? But these things matter, the things you listen to, and if you concern yourself all the time with the things and with the people, the information, the mentorship, the videos of people that are where you want to be, you're gonna become it, right? So insanely important. Just some extra information over here that I think is very valuable. Step number 2 is put all into it. Again, no theory, read theory on extra, but you need to work the ground. You need to be in the trenches. You need to do the hard work. You need to do in boxing. How many times did I nearly throw up? I never threw up. I always managed it because I didn't want to give it away to my coach, because he said, one day I'm going to make you throw up. I never threw up. I really forced it to not throw up, but I work insanely hard. I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if it hurts. Give me more of it, especially if it hurts. I love it because I know that I'm really at the spot. If it hurts, if it's getting complicated, that's where I love it. That's where I embrace myself. That's where I get this feeling that I love about learning and skills and life, right? Is where it becomes hard, because that's where everyone else fails, and I know that. So it gives me extra energy. You see, my mindset is completely different in all of this. Put all into it. Can be a hobby, whatever it is, right? Put it all into it and you're gonna achieve it. That's so important. And with putting all into it, I also mean, again, don't be someone that is insanely nerve-wracking to be mentored, right? If you have a mentor, make it easy for them by putting all in, because a mentor wants to see someone that doesn't cry and just execute. You need to become a soldier and execute. My box fight, I didn't win it. I used the fundamentals that my boxing coach installed into me, and the only thing I was listening to, there's honestly not even one time I was thinking of a punch. Not even one combination I thought about myself on my own. It did not come from me. I just listened to my coach. It was crazy because in the ring, I didn't listen to anyone or anything. I didn't hear anything besides my boxing coach's voice. And it felt like someone put 2 headphones into my head, right? And what he says directly goes into me, and just executed what he said. He said, go to the body. I tried to go instantly to the body. He says, throw a right. I throw a right, right? So everything I did was what we planned before the fight, and everything we did was what he told me, right? So you need to become an execution machine. You need to execute like a soldier when your mentor trains you. That's how you're gonna absorb and learn. Many people put a barrier in between what they want to learn and they mentor, so it becomes very difficult for the mentor to mentor them, right? And again, here it's so important because you're giving full control to someone else, that it's a good coach, a good mentor, and a good person, because if not, it's gonna become difficult, and you're also gonna adapt the negative stuff, right? Put all into it. Resources, right? Put all of your resources. If it's expensive, it's expensive, right? That's just what it is. You want to learn it. Money should be there for you to learn new things anyways before buying any other new brand of Gucci or whatever. Like, I'd rather have skills. I'd rather know how to box. I'd rather know how to speak, how to sell, how to trade, right? How to drive a car, whatever. There's so many skills. How to have a relationship, how to communicate, right? Diplomacy, there's so many psychology, there's so many sick areas in life where you can become good, and I'd rather be good in these ones than having any expensive watch on or whatever, okay? I rather would put my money there. Feedback loop is insanely important. I'm gonna speak about the feedback loop right now. With action and consistency, do it, fail in it, right? It's very important that you fail. You constantly need to fail. Use your talent if you have any talent for the area, and then feedback loop, right? Feedback and adapt, feedback and adapt, feedback and adapt, feedback and adapt. Feedback on what you did wrong, instantly implement it to become better, so you will jump very fast. But for you to have feedback, you need to take the feedback from your mentor, but also record yourself. Record yourself and watch it. You're gonna learn so fast. And it might feel odd in the beginning to record yourself, but you need to be consistent. When I did my weight cut, because I needed to cut 8 kilos in 1 month, 1.5 months, 2 months, no, it was 6 weeks, 7 weeks, right? No, 8 weeks. So yeah, 2 months, right? Every meal I ate, I took a picture, right? And I put it in a chat with my fiance, who also was my nutritionist, basically, because she knows everything about nutrition, right? When my coach said, you need a nutritionist, I said, I don't need one, I already have one, right? Because there's no one that I know that had a better result for themselves losing weight in a good manner than my fiance, right? So she became my weight cut instructor, right? My nutritionist. And she said, take a picture every day you eat. I take a picture every day I eat. At the beginning it was difficult. Sometimes I missed it. She corrected me. Now, even after with the weight cut, I still do it, because now it's a routine. I will continue to do it because it's a better way on actually go back, get feedback and see what did you actually eat. So if you feel very bad in a week or in a day, maybe you go back and you look at what you eat the last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, and you're like, oh shit, I just had shit food, right? I didn't have enough food. I didn't have enough nutrients. I didn't have enough carbs for energy. I didn't have enough meat for protein, whatever it is, right? But everything makes sense. Nothing in the world that happens just happens. It happens because what you put into yourself, the food, the information. So you need to record everything. And record, I don't mean camera, I mean recall and record in your mind, like record and recall in your mind, in the sense of write it down, have a trading record, have a business record where you write down what you did, what's your daily activity, so you can track it. Everything needs to be tracked, right? So with record, we could actually add another very important word in success, which is tracking, because what you track will grow. Tracking results in growth. And if you don't track, many people don't track anything. They don't track their success. I track how much I box. I track what I eat. I track with recording all of my sessions and I rewatch them. So tracking equals growth. If you track and you are very consistent in tracking and writing down, if you are learning sales, right? Write down how many people do you present your business to, your opportunity to, right? Record yourself, rewatch it, learn from it, try to apply it, right? So with recording, reflection, application is very important. I'm not gonna edit, right? But this is actually more for me than for you guys. So I can put a system together because I did not plan this. I was napping on the sofa over here because I just came from the UK, very tired, went to boxing this morning. And I was sitting here like, I need to record a video, I have something to say. And that's what I'm saying now, right? Fifth and last step is the mindset, right? The mindset is the second most important thing in all of this, besides finding a mentor. If you sum it up, it's finding a mentor, record, recall, or reflect, and your mindset. And obviously doing it, which I don't know why do I need to speak about it, but some people for a reason think they can become successful doing it the least, but you need to do it all the time, right? And become obsessed with it. But mindset, don't limit yourself, don't drift into negativity, don't have bad self-talk, have good self-talk. Be positive about what you're doing and find the good in everything. Even though you completely suck in something for years, find the good. Oh, I became better than last week. Oh, now I understand that I need to put a stop loss in trading. Oh, now I understand I need to throw the hook with the rotation. Oh, now I did this. Now, there's always a lot of negative things, which are learnings, right? There's no negativity, there's no failure, there's only learnings. And then there's positivity and things you did good, and you're gonna feed off what you did good and reinvest the energy and the power into this. But with that being said, guys, that is my 5-step guide to achieve success in every area you want. It doesn't matter which area. And your attitude will determine your altitude in this. If your attitude is good, you are learning, you are fast, you are adapting, you put everything, all your resources you have into it, the universe will reward you. There's also a spiritual side to that we don't need to add because it goes into the mindset. But if you show the universe or God or whatever you believe in, I believe in God. If I show God I want something, and I put everything into it, the most professional version of myself, the most feedback taking, the hardest working in the whole group, I know that the universe and God will give it back to me. He will see and he will bless me. And this blessing will make me successful, faster, make more money, box better, whatever it is, than anyone else. And that's because I truly believe in that. So there's also a spiritual part into this. But with that being said, guys, this is my 5-step to great success. Every area you want to focus on, it's a success system. Don't be scared to fail. Nail it down what you want to do. Reflect constantly. Make sure you have the right mindset, the best information. Don't shy away if you need to pay for the information. I have paid for many coachings in my life and I continue to do because the best investment is myself. And with that being said, see you in the next one.